Let's take a look at what I just call a spiral takedown from collar tie. This is not something that is primarily a takedown on its own against good grapplers. However, I use this so much, especially when bouncing a bar, because when people aren't comfortable with being in like a combat stance, a ready stance, and being able to absorb and apply force from a grappling stance, they fall over much easier than others. But even against someone better, this is still going to be just adding another plane of motion by doing a circular turn like we were doing, but then also creating some downward force. What I'm looking at doing, like we've talked about with takedowns, is not just moving Kevin in a circle, because as we were trying with the last video, if we move our partner to the side, they just keep adjusting and they'll never actually fall. But if I can create downward force so that Kevin's posture gets affected and his ability to base becomes compromised, as I start rotating, as I'm driving Kevin's head down, he eventually collapses. If I'm grabbing, I don't want to just try and use my arm here to pull Kevin. I want to start locking my arm in place as much as I can and then lowering myself so that he's forced to support my body weight. And then to the best of my ability, as I start creating this turning, I'm going to be pulling his head down and lowering myself to create that motion. Now, it might just get the hands to the floor, which is what we're going to be talking about in the next video, or we can actually get someone to turn all the way over and fall to their back. So here, with this control, I'm also going to be able to stop him from being able to post his arm to a certain extent, because I'm going to be looking at taking his elbow and pulling it in like this. This is going to help rotate his spine a little bit off the line of his hips, and then I'm pulling him down. I'm going to be rotating and thinking about trying to take his shoulders right down to the mat behind me here. We get this motion to happen. What's awesome about this takedown is that it can be done very fast, almost violently. However, we're controlling the head the whole time, and we're stopping the head from hitting the ground. So watch his head here. Never hits the ground. Very important that if we're taking somebody down, if we have the ability to do so, that we stop their head from hitting concrete, because we want to protect them as much as we can. Not always possible in the heat of the moment. Takedowns, falling, the momentum of a human body going out of the ground, I mean, it's dangerous no matter what. But my ability to keep the head tight with the arm will minimize the chance of him getting significantly injured. So here, I'm lowering myself, and I'm going to drive, and I'm going to pull to the side, and I'm going to keep control of the back of his head, like this. And then from here, I got control. I can start dropping down to side control. I can just throw him and back off. Depends on the situation, whether you got backup, whether there's a crowd, it's up to you. Let's go this direction. Here, if I needed to, I can take a step and turn my toes in. Rotating and pulling. If you need more of a spin than just taking somebody here, I'm actually basically starting to do a turning all the way around and drop into my knee. So it's something that you can also practice solo. So I'm taking a step and I'm turning, and to lower my hips, I'm going to start dropping down to my knee here. That's going to make a level change. So here, to drop the person down to the ground. Depends on the height. If you're trying to do this against somebody who's much taller than you, I recommend just going for something like the body lock. But this is an excellent form of control that's just tying in with some of the direction we're already doing. And it's something that I used a lot, and hopefully you can have some success with it too.